My book came out, you guys, and I'm so freaking excited. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my video blog for today. My name is Jaymee, and I am a self-published author. That's right. Finally, my book came out. I've been wanting to write a book for the longest time about my metastatic breast cancer survivorship. So back in 2017, when I first got diagnosed with breast cancer, I thought about the idea of writing a book. But, it's always easy to say, I'm gonna write a book, but the discipline it takes to actually make it happen is a very different story. So finally, after mulling over for many years if I should write a book or not, so I've been playing with the idea, I'm writing all these different angles, and of course self-doubt came in thinking, oh, maybe no one's gonna read the book, so I retract and I go back in. So I was really playing this hide and seek with the idea of writing. But during the pandemic in 2020, I think I was really forced to do something just because we're all in quarantine and my health was deteriorating at that time. I experienced a total of 3 major surgeries in 2020 while the global pandemic was at its peak. So I had this perfect excuse to really write my book, and of course thinking that what if this is going to be my last legacy? I actually want to make it happen. So at least I get to leave something to the world. But fortunately, thank you God, I'm still here and I'm alive to promote the book. So the title is That Shit Called Cancer, The Not So Subtle Art of Winning Your Life Back. And it's a breast cancer memoir / self-help, but more focused on self-help because my goal for this book is for the reader to feel that they're not alone in their journey, that someone experienced what they're experiencing or even worse. Because in my case, I've had a total of 4 recurrences in the span of almost 5 years. And I really documented what happened since the discovery of my lump all the way to right now where I am considered stable, thank you God, woohoo! And so this book is equipped with all the emotional and psychological tools that every cancer survivor will go through. Just because I feel like there's lack of psychological support. There's always ways to mend your symptoms or apply the cream or go to this class, but we are always left alone in our thoughts as a survivor. And sometimes in our heads, we play all these worst case scenarios, which I wrote here in the book. But before I go on detail on what's inside the book, I want to share to you the story of my cover and the title. So the title, I was really debating if this is the right one because I don't want people to think that, is she just gonna rant the whole time? Why is the word shit in there? Well, because the truth is cancer is very shitty. It's not a pleasant experience. And there's no other way for me to describe it, but it's really shitty. That's the truth. So I thought that the title would be very catchy. This is the real deal. Cancer is shitty, but there's a way to win your life back and bring out who you were before the diagnosis. And that is why I wrote The Not So Subtle Art of Winning Your Life Back, because the journey has not been easy for me to go back to being Jaymee, coming from a cancer patient. And my cover girl, by the way, is right here next to me. Her name is Miss Poopy. So she is a real pastry or cake that I ordered because she came up in my head as the cover girl. I was debating if I should put her or the 2 cupcake boobs as the cover, but I thought that this is very common, and so I ordered her specifically, and here she is. So it's not a graphic, it's a proper pastry. And why did I pick her? It's because of the title shit, and she's a poop emoji. But you know what? It can be a very shitty experience having cancer, but if you put a smile on your face, which shows positivity, and of course that pink ribbon to jazz it up, and as we all know, pink is the color of the ribbon for breast cancer. So having those elements, you can still make life beautiful, even if your situation, having a diagnosis, is not ideal. Right, Miss Poopy? Good girl. See, I got attached to her. I actually gave her a name. And so what is inside the book? The book has 10 winning affirmations to counteract 10 self-sabotaging thoughts that's very common in your head when you're a survivor. I'll give you an example for one self-sabotaging thought that I went through while on the journey. Self-sabotaging thought number 1, my body is a traitor. How can it betray me like this? So see, these affirmations sometimes become so real in my head, even if it's not the truth. I felt like my body betrayed me, and why did it happen? But to counteract this, after this section, there goes the winning affirmation number 1. I'm committed to taking very good care of my body and loving it more. So you don't get stuck on your self-sabotaging thought. You actually have another chapter after that that shows how you can counter that thought in your head. And apart from that, I also divided the book into 5 sections, the different emotional stages that we go through when we hear the words "you have cancer," such as there's the denial, the bargaining, the anger, the grief or depression, and then finally the acceptance stage. So just like any tragic events in your life, when you hear something not so ideal, you go through these 5 emotions. And so the book is divided into 5 parts. And you also have something at the end of the winning affirmation that has some tips, like for example, have cancer, how to date. In my case, I'm actively dating. So how do I do it? How do you put yourself out there after experiencing a diagnosis and having scars all over your body? So simple things like that are also covered inside the book. So it's not just my story. So it also includes practical tips that we don't normally find. I think the hospitals are just more focused on your body and your physical symptoms. And the psychology part is more focused on the pity party and you venting out your fears and your feelings. But who will talk you out of it? I guess that's the big question. And this book does exactly that. And also, since I am a practicing Christian and a yogi, I did not make this book specifically very religious oriented. I did mention God and mention some practice of self-care, but this is very friendly for people who are also non-practicing Christians, because my goal for this book is to be applicable for anyone going through that shit called cancer. And another bonus part of this is towards the end of the book, I do have some resources that are useful for Americans and Filipinos, based in the Philippines, of course. So I put it in 2 different sections under helpful resources. There's also reflection questions that you can ponder on when you're by yourself or you want to write a journal about it. Just a few recipes that are my favorite and easy to make, my juices and smoothies that I usually prepare for myself. And apart from that, there's beautiful photographs that will keep you inspired when you see what I've been through. Like for instance, this is the time when I coined my artist name Jaymee Wins at the peak of my baldness, right there. So see, it's got all these interesting features, and I'm really hoping for your support with this book, just because I worked hard to write this while going in and out of the hospital during a major pandemic by myself. This is my first book ever. I would like to follow up with another book and hopefully one more after this. Let's hope and pray that it all happens. So yeah, so this is what the book is all about, you guys. And I am in the process of making this book available in the Philippines locally, just so it's more accessible and you don't pay on delivery fee from America. But apart from that, this is now available on Amazon, and I just hope that you check it out. And I would love to sign it for you whenever there's an opportunity. I would love to organize something. And if you ever get the book, please give me a feedback. If you see any typo error, or if you think the story could get better for the next book, let me know. I would love feedback, just because this is my first ever book. And I'm so happy to be an American author. Yay! Right, Miss Poopy? Yep, she's the muse for this book. So yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. And this is something in the bucket list, and I'm so happy that it finally came to fruition. So thank you for all your support and for always following my journey to healing. And let's see where it takes me. So for the meantime, I hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up, please. Share this And also subscribe to my channel as I give you more details in the coming months about my health, how I'm living life, my practical tips, and just radiating some winning energy and vibration to you. Thank you so much, and I shall see you guys again on the next video vlog. Thank you, and let's keep winning our daily battles. Go for the dream, you guys. I made it happen. See you next week. Bye.